Right, don't move. Hands in the air.
You are under arrest for the murder of Hugh Crosney.
You're late.
Well, if I'm not here, they can't fire me, right?
Who's your best reporter?
You still have your friend in the FBI field office. Not sure she ever wants to speak to me again.
The Company You Keep is a restrained political thriller that looks backward into a turbulent chapter of American history while keeping its feet planted firmly in the present. The film explores how the radical movements of the late 1960s continue to cast long shadows decades later, not through explosions or spectacle, but through memory, identity, and consequence. At its core, the story asks whether it is possible to truly leave the past behind, or whether history eventually demands to be acknowledged, no matter how carefully it has been buried. Set against a contemporary backdrop, the narrative centers on a quiet, principled man living under an assumed identity. He has built a modest, ethical life, raising his daughter and working as a public interest lawyer, appearing to be far removed from the chaos of his youth. This fragile stability is shattered when a young, ambitious journalist uncovers a thread linking him to the Weather Underground, a real-life radical organization that once believed violence was a justified response to political injustice. The discovery sets off a slow-burning chase that is less about physical pursuit and more about moral reckoning. One of the film's defining strengths is its refusal to paint its characters in simple moral colors. The former activists are neither glorified revolutionaries nor reduced to villains. Instead, they are portrayed as aging individuals forced to confront the consequences of choices made in a time of anger, fear, and idealism. The film acknowledges the passion that fueled their actions while never ignoring the harm those actions caused. This balance gives the story its quiet power and distinguishes it from more conventional thrillers. Robert Redford, who also directs the film, anchors the story with a performance built on restraint and introspection. His character is not a man on the run in the traditional sense, he is a father and citizen trying to protect the life he has rebuilt. Redford's age and presence add authenticity, suggesting decades of lived experience and regret beneath the surface calm. His portrayal makes the character's internal conflict as compelling as the external danger closing in around him. Opposite him, Shia LaBeouf plays the journalist whose investigation drives the plot forward. His character embodies a different kind of idealism, one rooted in career ambition, belief in transparency, and the power of truth. Unlike the radicals of the past, he works within the system, trusting institutions and journalism rather than rebellion. The tension between these two men is not just personal but ideological, representing a generational shift in how change is pursued and justified. As the story unfolds, the journalist's pursuit takes him across the country, introducing viewers to other former members of the movement. Each encounter adds another layer to the film's exploration of memory and accountability. Some characters have embraced obscurity, others have achieved public respectability, and a few remain emotionally frozen in the moment when everything went wrong. Through these figures, the film suggests that history does not affect everyone equally, even when they share responsibility. Susan Sarandon delivers one of the film's most striking performances as a former activist who has paid the highest price for her past. Her character's presence serves as a reminder that not everyone escaped with a second chance. Julie Christie appears as a figure who has chosen reflection and withdrawal, embodying the quiet burden of survival. Britt Marling plays a former radical who has reinvented herself within the system she once opposed, raising questions about compromise, adaptation, and sincerity. The supporting cast, which also includes Stanley Tucci, Nick Nolte, Sam Elliott, and Chris Cooper's contemporaries in spirit if not in appearance, adds weight and credibility to the world the film creates. These are faces associated with authority, experience, and moral complexity, reinforcing the sense that this story belongs to an older, more contemplative tradition of political cinema. Each performance contributes to the feeling that the film is less about plot twists and more about accumulated consequence. Rather than relying on rapid pacing, the film moves deliberately, allowing conversations, silences, and small decisions to carry significance. This approach mirrors the themes of aging and reflection, emphasizing that the most important conflicts are internal. The sense of danger comes not from gunfire or explosions but from the possibility of exposure, arrest, and the emotional fallout that would follow. The tension is quiet but persistent, creating an atmosphere of unease that lingers throughout. The plot gradually reveals the events that originally bound these characters together, including a bank robbery gone wrong that resulted in a death. This incident is not treated as a shocking twist but as an unavoidable truth that must eventually surface. The film avoids sensationalizing the violence, instead focusing on how a single moment can define entire lives. The gradual unveiling of the past mirrors the journalist's investigation, aligning the audience's understanding with his growing awareness. Themes of justice and legality run parallel to the personal drama. The film raises questions about statute of limitations, moral responsibility, and whether legal systems are equipped to handle crimes born out of political extremism. It also explores the idea of redemption, asking whether good deeds in the present can balance irreversible harm done in the past. These questions are left intentionally unresolved, allowing viewers to draw their own conclusions. From a factual standpoint, the film is adapted from a novel by Neil Gordon, and its grounding in real historical movements gives it a sense of authenticity. The Weather Underground, though fictionalized in details, is clearly recognizable, and the film treats its legacy with seriousness rather than nostalgia. This grounding adds weight to the story, reminding viewers that the events depicted are rooted in real societal fractures that continue to influence modern politics. The release of the film in 2012 positioned it within a period of renewed interest in political accountability and historical reassessment. Audiences and critics noted its classical tone, comparing it to earlier generations of political thrillers that prioritized character and theme over spectacle. While it did not aim for mass market appeal, it found appreciation among viewers drawn to thoughtful, adult-oriented storytelling. The trailer for the film emphasized its suspenseful elements while highlighting the star-studded cast and serious tone. It suggested a chase thriller on the surface, but careful viewers could sense that the real drama lay in conversation and revelation rather than action. This marketing approach reflected the film's dual nature, balancing tension with introspection, and set expectations for a slower, more reflective experience. Visually, the film maintains a grounded, realistic aesthetic. Locations are presented without glamour, reinforcing the sense that these characters live ordinary lives shaped by extraordinary past decisions. The camera work is unobtrusive, allowing performances and dialogue to take precedence. This stylistic choice supports the film's thematic focus on truth and accountability rather than illusion. By the time the story reaches its conclusion, the chase has transformed into something more philosophical. The journalist, initially driven by ambition, is forced to confront the human cost of exposure. The former activist, having spent years avoiding his past, must decide how much he is willing to sacrifice to protect his daughter and his principles. Their final choices underscore the film's central idea that truth is never neutral and that revealing it can both liberate and destroy. Ultimately, The Company You Keep is less about running from the law and more about running from oneself. It examines how political conviction can harden into regret, how ideals evolve with age, and how the past remains embedded in the present. The film does not offer easy answers or dramatic catharsis. Instead, it invites viewers to sit with discomfort, to consider the long-term impact of belief-driven violence, and to reflect on how societies remember and judge their own history. In doing so, the film stands as a mature, contemplative entry in the political thriller genre. It favors substance over speed, conversation over confrontation, and moral inquiry over resolution. For viewers willing to engage with its measured pace and complex themes, it offers a thoughtful meditation on identity, responsibility, and the enduring weight of choices made in the name of change.